In 1974, while living in Richardson, Texas, my dad bought a 1973 Porsche 914. It was a fun car to ride in. The top came off and fit in the trunk. I was 8 years old when my dad got the car. My dad took me to many a movie on Sunday in that car. I always cherished going to the movies with my dad on Sunday and the ride to and from the theater in the 914. In 1978, we moved to San Antonio, Texas. By this time, my younger brother was also old enough to enjoy riding in the 914. In this picture, it looks like we're getting ready to head for the pool for a day of swimming. We moved to Evans, Georgia in 1979. My dad drove the 914 from Texas all the way to Georgia. He still drove the car to work, but eventually he got a larger car that was provided by the company that he worked for. The 914 got driven less and less. In 1984, I drove the 914 to high school as a senior a few times. It was great fun. After graduation, I drove the 914 to my first year of college in 1985. By this time, the 914 had a few electrical issues and the air conditioning had stopped working. It did not run as well as it used to and it needed to have some brake work done. My dad felt it best for me to have a newer car for reliability to drive to college, so he bought me a Mustang. The 914 sat in the driveway for at least a year. My younger brother would sometimes get in it and imagine he was driving it. He too had fond memories of the car and his rides in it. Since the car was not being used and it needed some work done, my dad decided to sell it. I was disappointed when I came home and found the car gone. It has been part of my life since I was 8 years old. In the year 2000, my brother made a new friend. Like my brother, he was a car guy too. They both had common interest in Volkswagens. During one of their discussions, my brother described the 914 and the memories that he had in it. His friend had several 914s at his house, and he suspected that he might have our actual car, based on the description that my brother had given him. With an old tag receipt in hand, my brother compared the VIN. He could not believe it. His friend did have the actual car. He told my brother that they had chemically stripped the car and repainted the car when they bought it back in 1986. They then put a cover on it and slid it onto a concrete carport. They figured that they would restore all the systems in the car, but time got away from them and it was never done. Basically, the car had never been driven more than a few miles since we sold it in 1986. It still had 68,000 miles on it. I think this little 914 that gave us so much enjoyment deserves more than a slow death out in the country under a carport. So with that in mind, I decided to make a deal and go get her.
Watch the side, Ron. Hey, look at this side over here. Why don't we just pull this thing all? All right, hold up. We need to look at this side here. We're awfully close.
You're still clear.
Jason, I know it's probably going to be tough. Can you give me a little steer to kick the back end around a little bit?
You want to steer which way? Turn right?
So we can help clear these tires?
Yeah.
All right.
No target seal. It's loose.
Mr. Jimmy, will you keep
saw
an
it.
eye on that passenger side?
It looks good. Looks good. Real good. Oh yeah, you got it. You got it.
Clear?
Yeah, that's good. Definitely all the distance in the world right now. Yeah. Window roll down easy. Hopefully it rolls back up easy.
So what happens next? Well, there's things to fix, parts to replace, an engine to rebuild, better than she was before. It will be a fun journey. I'm retired and I have an air-conditioned garage. I'm sure I will get some family time too working on this project. There are still more memories to be made.